Hey, check one, check one. Let me know down in the chat if everything is coming through well, sounding good, just making sure. See, we already got a few people here. Jumo Forever, we got Abby Nake, a couple of hang looses, I'm here for it. The 2-1 deep, love it, love it. Hey. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. I figured, it's been a bit since I have 5 out of 5. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear. Yeah, man, been a while since I've live streamed. Obviously, I did the live stream post-game show just the other day with Josh, which was a bunch of fun, and Christian couldn't make it. And so I would definitely like to be doing more of these because, I don't know, there's just something about the interaction and being able to hang out and talk about it. But shoot, man, I was looking today and going through. ESPN has the NFL Playoff machine, which is super cool to see, and really looking at where everything's landing. How about those Packers? Knocking the Bears down to where they belong, the 7th seed. That's what I want to see. That is what I want to see. Obviously, the LA Rams at the moment in first, the Packers at second. Philadelphia has yet to play, but you got LA, you got the Packers, then you've got Philly, Tampa Bay, and then 5, 6, 7 are Seattle, San Francisco, and Chicago. There's a lot of time left. There's a lot of time left in the next 4 weeks, man. Like, so much can happen. And I do like that ESPN has that little machine where you can kind of run through and be like, okay, if this person wins, this person loses, these guys tie, and you can kind of, finagle your way through it to really see what's going on. But everything I'm looking at here, dude, man, I can't avidly root for the Packers, but I can avidly root against the Bears. I think we all kind of find ourselves in that situation because personally, I look at it and I think the best possible scenario is the Packers sweeping the Bears, allowing the Lions to kind of make that trajectory through. And it's crazy, dude. It's crazy because when we lost on Thanksgiving Day, followed by Frank Ragnow being like, technically the hamstring being shot and not being able to play, there was just kind of this level where I'm like, dog, it felt hopeless, There
never was much hope. Just a fool's hope.
Just a fool's hope is really how it felt. And you guys all know that I felt that way. In fact, I saw somebody comment on my last video and just being like, yeah, dude, like, you said that the playoff hopes were dead. And yeah, I did because they really felt more than dead just last week, just after Thanksgiving, right? Like you hit that lull against the Packers, and now you've been swept by Green Bay. The Lions have been swept by Green Bay, lost to a terrible Minnesota team in J.J. McCarthy. Just a bad quarterback, poorly led. You lose that game. Everything felt like it was spiraling out of control. And it's funny because there was this point in which, in the beginning of the season, I mean, I said it. I was like, I really think that the Lions are going to go 11-6. That was my original estimate. But, I think 11-6 sounded a lot more fine with me in August versus how it feels now, because 11 wins is, I think, the only way the Lions will skate into these playoffs if they do it all. And you start going through that little simulator, and it's pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet. You know what? Let me see. I think I could pull it up here. Let's pull that right up here. Looking at that, so that's the simulator that I got. Packers needed to win this. Now we can get that. Now we can win out against the Bears. Yeah, we need to. We got to sweep the Bears. You're absolutely right, Abby. That's a huge one. Lord of the Rings lore coming in from Snoil. Okay, who is the fourth Hobbit in on the conspiracy to aid Frodo? Fatty Bulger. Who was Gorilla versus Sharky's men? I mean, honestly, at this point, you're blowing my mind, Snoil. I got a lot of research to do. I don't even recognize Fatty Bulger. Man, I got some work to do on that end. But yeah, check it out. This is that little simulator that you can kind of go through. And so obviously the Lions beating Dallas. How about that Bills game today? Holy smokes, man. That was incredible. That was an incredible game. My brother being a Buffalo Bills fan, watching that, seeing what Josh Allen can do. And, man, 2 turnovers, 2 picks from Joey B back to back. It was hilarious. I'm not a Joey B fan. I'm not a Joe Burrow fan. I am not a fan of, like, it's hard because Cincinnati, I look at it and I'm like, man, I want to root for you. But Joe Burrow just he just rubs me the wrong way. So seeing that was a solid W. But yeah, here we are. LA sitting at that first seed. Green Bay coming in second. Philadelphia yet to play, sitting at third. Tampa Bay at fourth. Then you got Seattle fifth. San Fran sixth. Chicago coming in at seventh, where they belong. And you know what? They actually belong out of the playoffs, and we're going to get there. But really looking at next week, this is Lions-Rams, dude. That matchup is going to be humongous. It is going to be huge. It's a matchup that I think the Lions are afforded one loss out of these next upcoming games between LA, Pittsburgh, Minnesota, and Chicago, but it can't be to Chicago. And I'm looking and I'm like, everything in me wants to say that it's just going to be the Rams to write it off. But I got to tell you this, man, this year, if I'm being honest with you, my predictions have kind of fallen all over the map. And anytime I have been confident in a W, Minnesota, for example, just punched in the face, just rocked in the face with unfortunate reality. Or even the New York Giants. Like, I looked at that and I was like, okay, that's going to be a W. They're better than what they seem. They're better than just on paper. You know, there's something there, but I think we're going to wipe the floor with them. And it goes into OT, right? Kansas City, I thought we're getting a W. Somehow that goes all kit boodle all over the place. Terrible. Absolutely thought we were winning week one. So, like, if I'm just shooting it straight with you, this year I have felt like, man, this team is different. And it feels a lot like a Katy Perry song. It feels like that Katy Perry song, right? Where you're up and you're down, you're in and you're out. That's what I've been telling everybody this week. I'm like, the Lions got me feeling like that dumb Katy Perry song where I just never know what the heck is gonna happen. And if I'm being honest, it's driving me friggin' nuts. It's driving me insane. I cannot, like, I'm at a point where I'm at a point where it's kind of pissing me off. But yeah, Snoil Sade predicted 11 to 12 wins. The Minnesota loss is horrid. I'm with you, Snoil. That thing kicked us right where it hurts. That thing was the loss to Minnesota is something that I still sit up and think about quite a bit. Kind of like that Washington playoff game last year where I just cannot help but sit and think about it. But yeah, let's just pop back over here to the playoff prediction window. Let's go back. There we are. Check one. All right. So looking at this prediction window, if we're popping into week 15, which how insane is it that we've got 4 weeks in this NFL season left? I just am kind of bummed how quickly it all went. It felt like it flew by. Also, for anybody watching tonight, I am going to throw up a voicemail number that you can just call in right now. And hopefully, if I've got everything, I think I got it all set up right, but I would love to get your call and we could just chat a little bit about the Lions. You're welcome to call in and we can just shoot the breeze about it. But if I'm looking here, Lions win this game against the Rams, and then I'm the type of guy who I'm looking at Green Bay, Denver, and I just feel like this is a game that the Broncos are going to pull in the W. And then obviously Browns and Bears, I'm going to have to go Bears. And this is what's crazy about this season is you look at how much this gets shaken up. Seattle now jumps into the first slot. LA drops all the way down to 5. Green Bay down to 7. They slide. Then you've got Chicago that zips back up to 2. And it's like Philadelphia, again, we didn't say if they won or not this week. We should probably put that in. Philly versus Chargers. Oh, yeah, that's a Philly W for sure in week 14. And then in week 15. So that's still, even with the Lions win over the Rams, and you're kind of looking at where things are shaking out here. What do we got? Tampa Bay over the Falcons. That's a W. And then who am I missing? Seattle, I think. Philly over the Raiders. Philly. And then Seattle. I don't want to just sit here and do, against Colts, and they don't have Daniel Jones. So, like, all in all, you're looking at that, and I think we're all just kind of stuck in this purgatory at the moment. I think we're stuck in an odd purgatory, even with the Lions beating the Rams. So that's where there is a world in which the Lions do win out. Like, I could see it happening. Now, the problem is Matt Stafford coming off of a rough game. Well, actually, I'm thinking of last week against Carolina. Who did LA play today? Who was that? Who did LA play today? Am I missing? Did they have a bye? I don't see it. Oh, no, the Cardinals. They're playing the Cardinals. Is that tonight? No, right? That's Texans, and, man, my mind is all over the place. I haven't live streamed it forever. This is fun. This is fun. Fun to be back. But yeah, man, I think all in all, when I'm looking at this playoff prediction situation, the Lions, your best road is win out. Like, that's kind of the number one option, obviously. But if they do drop a game, I would have to say it's against the Rams. So if we pop in here, week 15, Lions drop it to the Rams. Rams pop up to the first seed, and then the Lions beat Pittsburgh. Let's go with a Green Bay sweep over Chicago. And then week 17, the Lions over Minnesota, because it just has to be. Green Bay over Baltimore. And the Bears in San Francisco. Let's go San Fran. And so far, that's how we can get. So if the Lions over Minnesota, obviously this isn't equating for every single game in the NFC. But Green Bay over Baltimore. And then if San Fran can beat Chicago, that'll help get the Lions in there at that 7th seed. Right? Because then Philly's going to win. And then you got Seattle. You got Tampa. So anyways, man. Let's pop back over here. All right, back in here. Daniel Jones out for the season. Dang. Oh, yeah, you're right. No, the Rams did win. I saw that. Yeah, they pretty much plastered them. I was looking in the third quarter. They were up, 30 some odd to 10. That was brutal. Buffalo Lions Super Bowl would be awesome. Yes and no. My brother is a huge Bills fan, and quite frankly, I was extremely worried about that last year. I was like, man, I do not want to play Buffalo in the Super Bowl because one of us is going to be happy, and the other one of us is probably going to be extremely depressed for the rest of the year. But I do agree from a spectator point of view. I think that Lions, Bills, these two Rust Belt, hardworking, blue-collar cities going up against it. Bills with the 4 losses in the Super Bowl. Lions, obviously, with the hard knocks for the last 60 years of our lives, man. Yes, if San Fran loses to Chicago, we jump them. San Fran and Bears in our last game are the most important now, even if we lose to the Rams. Yeah, no, I'm gonna go with you on that one. San Francisco and... Because Pittsburgh is AFC, but you don't want the loss, right? Like, I think it's going to take 11 wins to get into the dance. Lions with 12 is your best bet, but with 11 wins, that's the way in. Chicago hopefully gets swept by Green Bay. They already lost one today. Hopefully, they should beat Cleveland this week. But hey, Cleveland beat Green Bay back in week 4 or 5, something very early. Anything can happen. Anything can happen, and that's the thing about football that I think often gets lost, right? Lions lose to Minnesota, and I have all of these Minnesota fans dropping in the comments being like, you guys suck. Vikings are great. J.J. McCarthy's the second coming of Christ. And you're like, okay, where are you now? Where are you now? That's kind of the crazy part about football is anybody can win. Anybody can win. And so looking at this, I'm with you. I really think the biggest thing that that the Lions need, other than taking care of business on their own, is you need Chicago to lose to Green Bay. You need Chicago to lose to San Francisco. And then, obviously, the Lions beating Chicago to seal the season. Man, doesn't it feel a little funny? Doesn't it feel a little funny that 2 years in a row, seems like the NFL schedule makers know exactly what it's going to take for the Lions to go somewhere. Like last year, it's Minnesota in this huge finale game for the 1 seed. And then this year, it's Chicago for what is potentially even just the 7th seed. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. I don't know. It just feels like I don't want to say it, but you know what it feels like. So, anyways, obviously some harsh reality coming in with Brian Branch, right? Like Brian Branch going down is pivotal. It's pivotal because without Kirby, we have been without Kirby Joseph since Kansas City. That was the last time that Kirby was out on the field. And since then, I'm just like, don't get me wrong, Rock Ya-Sin playing out of his mind. I like seeing Avonte Maddox out there, though he is a backup of a backup. I think Harper has found a way to really prove himself. Unfortunately, he deals with that concussion last week, going down with his head first, laying that hit on. But I'm looking and I'm just like, the secondary has stepped up in ways that I did not anticipate. Just shooting it straight, man. I didn't think that the secondary was going to be this good without Kirby and now without Brian Branch. Now, granted, this whole time we've at least had Branch, right? And he's been dealing with that toe, foot, ankle situation now for a couple weeks. But to have the Achilles problem now, like I'm just sitting there and you're like, it feels like a repeat of last year with just missing the dynamic offense week after week after week. And that's what's crazy is I'm looking and you're like, dude, this offense is good enough to put up 44 or I'm sorry, 46 on Dallas. Oh, I am sorry, 44. The safety didn't count. See what I did there? And the offense is that good. You roll, but again, you're looking at not as good of defenses in Washington or in Chicago week 2 when you put up 50 plus. Like, the offense is good enough to do it. We are lacking consistency. The Lions offense is lacking consistency, and all of that stems from the O-line and from having veteran leadership in Ragnow, having a healthy Taylor Decker, right? Because I even saw the article that came out about him, contemplating the potential retirement, and you're like, Doc, if he retires, I mean, the fact that he's even contemplating it and he's probably watching his best friend, Frank Ragnow, live his best life. You're like, if you're already contemplating that, it's a long season and it's emotional. And he said that to like make any decision now would be emotional. But I'm like, Brad Holmes, it's time. It's time, dude. We got to rebuild these trenches and we got to rebuild them fast. I love seeing defensively, even though Hutch may not be putting up the numbers that we want to see. He's getting double team, triple team, but I feel like there's a little bit of a lack of juice these last few weeks. But a guy like Mohammed just turning it on. And I don't blame Hutch. Because, first of all, when you're coming off of an injury, that first year back, it's a hard year back. The fact that he's playing as well as he is 1 year back after what was that broken leg, whatever that was, tibia. It's one of the others, not a doctor. But if it was Dr. J, it's not a bad. It's got a pretty good ring. But for him to come back year 1 off of that, playing as well as he's playing, putting the pressure on that he's putting, I mean, I'm pretty impressed. But we know there's more there. And that's where they say a lot of times it's the second year back, especially Achilles or ACL. It's usually second year back. And you can see that in Ali McNeil, right? Like you can feel that there's lackluster gameplay up front from Aleem. And I love Aleem. I love him. He's my boy. But you could tell it's a first year back from an injury. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. Thank you for hanging out with me live. I know you could go and be watching the game. But you know what? Maybe I'll even throw that on. I don't know. I'll probably get hit with a copyright strike, so maybe I won't. Oh, yeah, look at that. That game started at 8:13. What do we got? 0-0. Kansas City. Dude, I just have so much fatigue from these stupid red jerseys. I can't, dude. I don't want to watch. I'm not going to watch it. I can't watch Kansas City anymore. I'm friggin' sick and tired of it. Let's see here. This is better. Hey, thanks. Thank you. Simple Photo 6803. Thanks for saying that, man. I cannot watch the Chiefs anymore. That's just, it's less to do with the fact that they're winning. There's just this way about it where this is one of the best seasons ever. Watching them go, what are they, 6-6 at the moment? It's just nice to watch a tyrant fall. Thus always to tyrants. Well, you know what I mean though. But it's nice to watch a tyrant fall, like the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's see here. Frazier. Hey, Frazier was great. Glad you brought him up. He's a 5th-round pick, I believe, right, from this year. The fact that he started getting his sea legs under him, seeing him out there last week was awesome. And that's the type of guy where I'm looking, I'm like, right now, get him the reps. Get him the reps, because if we do make the playoffs, it feels like we're going to need him. We're going to need him. We're going to need the depth. You got Cologne out there. I mean, this O-line it's banged up. It's banged up. And that's where I wonder, man, with Frank Ragnow, was there a decision that was made behind the scenes where it was like, hey, listen, it's not worth you coming back. Let's just call it a grade 3 hamstring injury. That's the conspiracy theorist side of me. I hate to admit it, but it is. It is. Oh, my God. Chris Collinsworth is calling the game against the Chiefs. You're right, with the Chiefs. I cannot listen to that man. I don't want to be mean, but I don't ever want to listen to that guy talk ever again in my life. I cannot stand him as one of the announcers. He is terrible, and he just loves Patrick Mahomes, and I will not watch him man crush on Mahomes for 3 hours straight. I'd rather just wake up in the morning and say, oh, they won, or, oh, they lost. Just like the election. Oh, this person won or lost. Simple as that. It's not worth all the pain. It's not worth all the pain. Oh, Tesla, bro. Let's talk about Tesla for a second. How about that kid? Man, seeing him last week, pulling in that TD. Yeah, and I think the week before against Green Bay, the reach out, the diving play, like Tesla was a huge pickup. And I know some people are upset that, hey, we traded this away in order to go get him, 3rd-round draft pick. Did we reach? Are we reaching on a guy? Listen, I think there was a fear of we don't know what's going on with J-Mo. What's J-Mo going to be? Who is he going to be? And I got to say, I love what J-Mo has done under St. Brown's black cloud of an ankle, right? I think seeing J-Mo pop off that game against Green Bay on Thanksgiving, having to come through, make some plays, I think there's so much room still for J-Mo to grow. It's just odd watching J-Mo have to be wide receiver 2, where I think he could blossom as a wide receiver 1 elsewhere. You know, it's not going to be here, but like you put him on a team, I don't know, Carolina, Jacksonville. You put him on a team, like he could fight for that wide receiver 1 spot. Tennessee, for God's sake. And really see him pop off. But looking at him here, I know a lot of people have issues with him. And there's been drops that have unfortunately hurt us in some big situations. But I mean, I look at J-Mo and I'm like, there's still so much more ceiling. There's still so much more growth that to me is exciting. That's exciting. Do you think we can win a Super Bowl without Laporta and Brian Branch? My honest opinion, because at the same time, you also got to ask, what about Kirby? Where is he? Laporta hurts, and no Brock Wright. The tight end situation in Detroit is not good, and we like that big personnel. You like that. You like running the big man, big personnel, because when you do that, dude, it opens up so much more for Goff, because it opens up more for Saint, for JMO, for Tesla, for whoever, or not Tesla in that situation. But you're looking at it and you're like, without Laporta, without Brian Branch, without Kirby, it's not impossible. I don't look at it and say, oh, no, man, there's not a chance. I fear more for what is the consistency of this team, specifically the offensive line. To me, it's the offensive line has been so shoddy and kind of clapped together. You know, it just kind of feels like a hodgepodge dinner. It feels like it's Sunday night, right? And you've had leftovers from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday still sitting in the fridge. And you're like, let's just throw them all in a pan and just hope for the best. And honestly, it's not bad, but it's not great. And it was not thought out. And that's kind of what this offensive line is feeling like this year. There's just a level where I'm like, I'm less worried about the fact of Laporta and BB saying, man, we can't go win a Super Bowl. It's more to me, the offensive line play is so shoddy, spotty. It's week after week. You don't know what you're going to get. And if that's the case, I look and I'm just like, nah, man, I think Angels in the outfield. Hey, man, it could happen. It could happen. But last year's team, roster, coaching, all of it felt tighter and was, to me, the year. This year is you're dogging and you're clawing, and it could happen. But I didn't see it like I saw it last year. You know what I'm saying? I didn't feel it. I don't feel it the way this year that I did last year. And it's crazy that you roll into that week one, that divisional matchup, and you're just thinking about Philly instead of Washington, who's standing right in front of you. And they play a little ding-dong ditch. And we open up the door, and we look like idiots in our own hometown. So it's not fair of me to sit here and say, no, we can't win a Super Bowl. Of course it could. Of course you could. You don't know what teams you're playing, who else is injured on other teams, who steps up. Rock Ya-Sin's a great example of somebody stepping up in a capacity that I never, ever anticipated, especially looking at him preseason. Look at all these guys preseason where I'm like, I didn't see that coming. No, we don't get Brock back soon. Hey, Abby, you won a $16,000 parlay with him scoring a touchdown. Are you telling me you won $16,000? Because if so, that's insane, bro. Or miss. But yeah, here we go. Let's just open this up. And call. Tom Kennedy, Super Bowl MVP, return TD, record TD, and pass TD on a trick play. Dude, Tom Kennedy, let's talk about that. That guy, I love his story. I love that he's been sitting here for years. And the fact that he was here in the Matt Patricia era. He was here since the Matt Patricia era. And it was just so nice to see him again. I love when he gets called up from the practice squad, seeing him out there making plays. He was making plays against the Packers that game when Saint went down, which was really, really nice to see as well. Yeah. Man. Here's the big question. Can we get a better win now? Oh, can we get a better win now GM than Brad Holmes, coming in from Simple Photos? Oh, that's tough. Listen, I love Brad Holmes, and I know that there are other Lions YouTubers who would differ in their opinion and what they think about him. Personally, I love Brad. I love the mentality, because I cannot sit here and pretend like that man did not literally pull us out of a gutter, a dirty gutter, wipe us off, clean us off, make us not only presentable, but into Prince Ali, right? But at the same time, Prince Ali wasn't, I'm talking about Aladdin here. Remember when he fakes it and he like comes in, he's just a little pauper boy. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, what Brad Holmes has done, he has established an organization that matters. And I can't sit here and say we got to find somebody else. I would, however, say I would love it if Brad Holmes just added a little bit of flair here and there and said, why don't we win right now? Because it's possible. We have the roster. We had the roster. Now you're losing guys. Kevin Zeitler goes in the offseason. Frank Ragnow retires. You're in a situation with the O-line where you can feel it. Gibbs is lightning in a bottle. He's only getting better. How much longer can a running back last? You never know what happens. Todd Gurley example. And so I just think when I look at Brad Holmes, I wish he would adopt a little bit of a mentality where he said, you know what, I'm open. I'm open to saying, let's go try to get Kevin Zeitler back here. Let's go try to get, you know what I'm saying? Like some complementary pieces to build out this team the way that, Howie Roseman goes and gets Jalen Phillips and they're drafting, or not only drafting, but they're going out and getting these guys to say, let's win it and let's win it all now. I just think the difference is Philly's probably 2 years ahead of us, a year or two ahead of us in that approach of being able to do that on their base roster, right? And I think now the Lions have a phenomenal base roster. We do. And then you lose Ragnow. And then you're like, oh, okay, it's a little shaky here. And that's where I'm like, go get another guy. Don't let Kevin Zeitler walk. Like, that was a huge mistake at guard. So I don't look and say, yeah, we got to get a whole new GM. No, absolutely not. Brad Holmes here to stay. I do look, though, and say, who could speak into Brad and say, yeah, but let's go get somebody. And Brad say, yeah, you know what? Maybe let's win a Super Bowl right here, right now, because we got the talent. We do. We have the talent. And how long is Kelvin Shepherd going to be here? John Moran ain't going to be here long. Hey, makes a lot of sense. But the real question is, who do you blame for not making the playoffs? Oh, that's a great question. Who do you blame for not making the playoffs? Well, first and foremost, we haven't not made the playoffs yet. So let's just.
There never was much hope. Just a fool's hope.
Let's just hold on to a little bit of hope there. I think who's there to blame for the situation we are in right now? Tough reality is Ben Johnson mattered more than I think I wanted to admit. He wasn't everything, but he did matter more. And really, the blame I'm looking at, and I think, again, it's shoddy O-line play. I don't want to blame Ragnow, but you're right. We let Zeitler walk. So, yeah, I think that's fair. I think it's fair to say that Brad Holmes could go out, get the guys, make other guys stay. So, yeah, I would say you're right. I think that there has been a flub there. I don't want to admit it, but no, I think you're right. That's a good point. Let's see here. Joe Jones and PC Payload. If we don't make the playoffs and you don't place some of the responsibility on Brad, you don't understand football. For sure. No, there will definitely be responsibility on Brad. I would agree. You're right, because the more I'm thinking about it, and you're looking at Zeitler walking and Ragnow retiring and then trying to get it back. Like, the whole thing is, and then not going out and getting guys at the deadline, especially when we had, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe we had $20 million in salary cap available at the time of the deadline. And that's where I'm sitting there and I'm like, I think we're going to go get somebody. Like, for the first time in the Brad Holmes era, I'm sitting there thinking, like, we might do it. We might actually make a move. And then I got a buddy telling me, he's like, Come on, man. Wake up. You know it's not going to happen. And I'm like, oh, shoot. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Oh, boy. Let's see here. Let's get Mike McDaniels as our OC from Abby. Yeah, I'm with you. That guy he's weird. He is so weird. But one of the funniest things I saw was on Reddit, and somebody was like, if Mike McDaniels gets fired, we got to get that nerd on our sideline ASAP. And I was like, that's great. That's great. I would take him. Simple photo. May I say you're the most level-headed of Lions YouTube crowd. First videos I click on. Hey, I appreciate that. I really do. That is very sweet of you. I try to come from the approach of realistic. I have one buddy who's optimistic. I have a buddy who's pessimistic. And I try to teeter the line where, listen, man, I remember how bad it was, and you do too, in the Matt Patricia era and before, right? But I started this podcast finally in the Patricia era, and like, man, I remember how bad it was. And it's funny, though, because now that we're good, now that the Lions are good, I think it's easy to kind of be like, well, it's all right. Like, you know, Brad Holmes is doing great. I think it's easy to kind of put blinders on and be like, I remember how bad it was. Therefore, this is better than nothing. But at the same time, there's so much more at the end of the road that we're not getting to. We're wearing out way too fast, way too quick. And I'm watching these other teams. You and I are watching these other teams make it all the way. And I'm looking at this roster, and it is talented enough to go and get a Lombardi. And so I do appreciate that. I always try to be as realistic as I can. I give the benefit of the doubt, maybe too much, but probably more in this era than I ever have, because for the first time, we are not a laughing stock. We're not a laughing stock. So let's go get Mike McDaniels. Yeah, I could take that. Man, he might add the right flair. It'd be so odd to watch McDaniels underneath, like coming underneath of Dan Campbell and Dan Campbell's, regime. I don't know if he fits, if I'm being honest. Like, I can't imagine Campbell being like, yeah, that's the guy. But at the same time, hey, I just want to win. I just want to win, and I just want to win it all. I don't want to be 75 years old looking back saying, remember that one time we had lightning in a bottle? Remember that one time we had Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery? We had a beautiful O-line, and that was so Donald Trump. Beautiful. Beautiful O-line. We had Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch, Jack Campbell, Derek Barnes. Go down the list, man. Aiden Hutchinson, Ali McNeil, even DJ Reader, Muhammad. Like, dude, I worry. If I'm being honest with you, I worry that it's so hard because I want to hold on to hope. That quote from Gandalf, like, I just want to hold on to just a fool's hope of being like, yeah, it can happen. But at the same time, when do you look and say, yeah, we're missing the mark? And I think that was this year. I think that was this year, coming off of an NFC championship and then a blow in the divisional round, and then you might not even make the playoffs. Agree. The better than before argument is old news. Yeah, it is. It is, and it's hard, man. It's hard because when you're as bad as we were, dude, I remember I'd go into Kroger, or I'd go into Kroger. And I remember one time I got my Barry Sanders jersey on. It's 2018, and I picked up a 6-pack, and this old man leans over to me because it's Sunday morning. It's probably 11 noonish, and I'm getting out of there, and the guy looks at me and goes, "You're going to need a lot more beer than that, Sonny." And you're like, but where's that guy now? Where's that guy now? And I think you've got Lions fans starting to come around to being like, okay, it's been fun. It's been fun being great. It's been fun. It was fun going 15-2, but what did it matter? Like if I'm being honest with you, what did 15-2 even matter? Other than a history check mark, other than something that you can write on a banner somewhere. Division winner, 15-2, number 1 seed. It didn't matter for Jack Diddley. because you got beat by a rookie quarterback. And now I'm going to go nuts. Thanks, guys. I'm going to go friggin' insane. You get beat by a rookie quarterback in the divisional round at home when you should have been hosting Philadelphia 1 week later. And I think the hardest part for me is knowing that what Dan Campbell said when we lost to San Francisco the year before in the championship game, when he said that may have been our only shot. It may have. That's the harsh reality. And, I know Aiden Hutchinson talked about it and said the next day he was like, screw it, we're going all the way. And it's like, no, I think Coach was right. You don't know. That might have been it, man. That might have been our only shot. And it was the only shot with that group of guys. Because, I look at Buffalo, I look at the Bills as a case study of a phenomenal team with a QB1 and good coaching, good leadership, great defense, who just last year had to ditch 6 of their staple players. It would have been like us getting rid of Taylor Decker, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch, and 2 other guys who are pretty good. Another wide receiver, maybe like Tesla in a few years. It would have been like just clearing house. Aleem McNeil, like staple players. And they have been so close. They have been on the precipice. They're always there. But if you're not getting it done, at what point do you wipe it all away and say, start over? Because the game against Washington, you're up 17 at half. Josh Reynolds blows 2 4th-down plays. Jahmyr Gibbs with the fumble. And Vildor. And you just sit there and you're like, that's a game that will forever haunt us all. That will forever haunt this organization if you cannot get a Super Bowl in the next 3 years. Just my personal opinion. The Fish and Church Dude 77, they will get in the playoffs. They do better as the underdogs. I don't think you're wrong. I think the underdog mentality does work here in Detroit. I think it is something that this team thrives off of it. And Coach said it himself, man. Like Coach brought it up where he's like, we did the 15-2 thing and it didn't even matter. He said this 2 weeks ago. He's like, it didn't even matter. So maybe we got to go the hard road. And that's where, to answer the other question, no, I don't think the Super Bowl can happen. I think it's the possibility is lower than, let's just say, it's unlikely. Because first and foremost, you got to get into the dance. And yeah, we're good as underdogs, but you got to take care of business. Show us you can take care of business. Now, I've been on record and I've said it. I've said it all year long. You have to play your best football from Thanksgiving and on. Like, I really believe that is when it matters. That's when it matters the most. It would have been really nice to have clinched that game against Green Bay, not be swept, not be 1-3 in the division. However, from then on, here we go. Play your best. Actually start winning these games. Win them handily. Do what you did against Dallas. Don't be hot and cold. Don't go out there 1 week and be phenomenal, and then offensively, and then the next week, lay an egg. Offensive line, like that's what that's what I'm talking about. Is Super Bowl great. Just get to the friggin' dance. Just get to the playoffs at this point. Because if you can't do that, man, what an incredible letdown. All for the highest ticket prices in the NFL. Didn't even go to a game this year. Too expensive. Vince Cinnamon. What a name. Bro, it's over. The Bears are going to destroy us. See, I don't know. I don't know about that. Now, is it over? Yeah, maybe. I'm still waiting for that fat lady to sing, though. So, hold on. And you know how Vikings are. You know, I'm thinking of like the big lady. She's singing. So, okay, go with me here. Green Bay, Chicago. Obviously, Chicago, we punched in the mouth week 2. But as I said at the beginning of the year, I really thought that Chicago would beat us in the finale, but I didn't think it would matter. I thought the Lions would have already clinched playoffs by the time you played Chicago. Now this is a different story. So we're going to see. Because if that game against Chicago is a win it and you're in type of game, first of all, it's going to be put on Sunday Night Football. Damn it. Not what I want. I'm sick of these 8 o'clock games. But I look at it and I'm just like, I think if it all comes down to that, it's going to be the way that the Lions played against Green Bay 4 years ago when we knocked Aaron Rodgers, knocked them out of the playoffs, the whole bit. He moves on from Green Bay. I think the Lions will come with that mentality. But the problem with this is how much longer can the Lions hold on to that mentality? So, all in all, I look at them and I'm like, dude, I think Chicago is an interesting team. I think they're getting better. But I disagree. Caleb Williams, he does not look amazing. In fact, the thing that's getting Chicago through is the run game. Like, without the run game, Chicago is not a 9-win ball club. Like, I really look at Caleb Williams and I'm like, they haven't unlocked him yet. I think he can be great, but I haven't seen it yet. The passing game is not great. Did you watch the first half of that game against Green Bay? You're just like, dude, what the heck is going on here? Yeah, man. The thing with the prices, talk about a money grab. That pisses me off. Like, you're better than that. But you're not. You're not, because you're a business. But when I look at it, I'm like, dude, we as the fans have waited forever to be good. And I was paying to go to crappy games when we were terrible. And we were already out of the playoff talk by Thanksgiving. And now here we are. And I'm like, I can't even afford to go to a regular game. I'm like, this is insane. You're nuts. You're nuts. After being good for what, 2 years? Nah, bro. What? No way. No way. Lose against the Rams. This is coming from Jared the Damger. And then we got Steve-O Baby. Let's hit Steve-O Baby first. What do you think the atmosphere is going to be like in L.A. when they play the Rams? They're going to boo Jared Goff, or do you think they're going to cheer him? Well, it's interesting because do the Rams have any fans? That's the real question. Do they have any actual fans? And I think Lions fans are going to travel really well to get out there. But you know what? We've already played them in L.A., so to me, it's not as big of a deal. That first year when the trade took place, you know, I remember that game. That's when Penei Sewell grabbed Aaron Donald, because Aaron Donald got up in Penei Sewell, a rookie, right? He's a rookie, got up in his face and grabbed Sewell's face mask. Sewell got right up in his face, grabbed his face mask and brought him in. And I said, that kid's going to be electric. I've already loved him, but now I'm in love with him. I'm like, that guy's going to be the best. So they already had the weird thing out in L.A. So to me, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I don't think it really even is anything. And if they boo them, they boo them. Because guess what? Boo them kids. Let's go back to Jared. Lose against the Rams, win against the Steelers and Vikings. Then everything goes down week 18 in Chicago. And I don't know about that. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I think you can afford to lose one. It has to be either to the Rams or Pittsburgh. And I see it being to the Rams. However, this is the problem with the Lions this year. They're so inconsistent. If they can come out and play the way they did against Dallas offensively and defensively, I'm not worried at all. I'm not worried at all. But Stafford's on a tear, and Brian Branch is gone, and Kirby is nowhere to be seen. So unless the team that shows up, that showed up in Philadelphia shows up, man, we're in trouble. We're in trouble, and you could drop this game fast. Bears like to do a PA rollout, play action rollout, and keep third and fourth down. We just decided to do random quarterback blitz, purposefully have the DE over loss contained. Hey, man, that's what I'm talking about. Manzi, rookie quarterback in Chicago, is really good. JJ is undefeated against the Lions. I wish you didn't say that. JJ is undefeated against the Lions. What a terrible fact. What a terrible fact. Why would you say Why would you say that? Oh. Man, unbelievable. What do we got, Wheezy? I'm about to rewind and see if you were a pass rush crybaby and panicking the last 2 weeks to give validity. I don't think I understand exactly what you're saying. Let's see. 2 weeks ago, what was I? Yeah, I think 2 weeks ago it was pretty much. It's been what it is. I don't know what to expect from this team. Pass rush wise, I've been just fine. Like, it's been fine. You know, Hutch, I think, is getting underrated in a lot of ways because of the numbers themselves, the stats, things of that nature. But also, he's coming off that injury. It's only 1 year later, and I think we're expecting more out of him. But Muhammad's killing it. Love what I'm seeing there, and I love watching Jack Campbell come flying through. The entire average Jack. Hey, man, good to see you. Good to see you in the chat. Been a while. Really nice to see you, my guy. The entire season just feels cursed. Maybe we need a shit year to recoup like the Rams did. Yeah, you know what? I was even thinking, kind of reminds me of San Francisco. Hold on one second. I'm going to cough here, and I'm not going to do that in your ear. Let me mute this. Forgive me for that. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of San Francisco. Kind of reminds me of San Fran, right? When they beat us in the NFC Championship, and then they go on to the Super Bowl, they lose, and then the following year, last year, they just looked bad. Now, obviously, some injuries that took place, but they just didn't look good. Now it's a recoup, or there was a recoup year, and now here they are, and they are alive and well. Detroit Diehard just subscribed and love the content. Lions fan, 55 years. Hey, Detroit Diehard, my man. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. We just have fun here. We just have fun. There's a lot of Lions content out there, and hopefully what I bring you is just, it's different. And I'm not an expert. I'm never going to pretend that I am. I'm a guy sitting in his garage talking about his favorite team, and in the end we can all say together,
the Packers.
And if we can say that, then hey, we are happy. We are a happy bunch. No, dude, I appreciate it. I appreciate all of you. Appreciate all of you guys just hanging out. You could be watching the Kansas City game, and you either are and you got me off to the side, or you're not, because we all have Chiefs fatigue. Nobody cares, even when they're bad. I don't want to watch them. I don't even want to watch them. Man, 55 years. That's a long time. I think it's time to draft our future quarterback, coming from John Jones, and sit him behind Goff. So what is hard about that is Colton, my man, unsubscribing unless you admit Star Wars is good. Just not going to do that. I'm just not going to do that.
Fool of a took.
Because you are a fool of a took. No, I'm just kidding, man. I'm just not a Star Wars guy. Never have been. It didn't do it for me, which is weird because I like sci-fi. I read the book Dune, love Dune, and then the movies were great. So like I enjoy sci-fi, but I'm really more fantasy related. Obviously, Dungeons and Dragons, Lord of the Rings is where it's at. Yo! Did you guys know that Lord of the Rings is going back out in theaters for the 25th anniversary this year? Catch me there. You know why? It's also going to be the extended versions. So I just got to find a theater close enough so that I can go do that. But dude, 25th anniversary, all three Lord of the Rings. I think starting, it might be in January, will be out. Extended editions in theater. I can't wait. Because honestly, the only one I ever saw in theaters was The Return of the King when I was like 10 or 11. I was young. And it was the best. It was the best. So I cannot wait for that. If that's something that you're not hyped about, get out of here. Appreciate you loving the dark background. I basically built out the entire back wall We bought a house last year, and then I was able to do this. And actually, Colton, you have been on the show. He's been here. It's a blast. It's a blast, man. So let's see. Lord of the Rings was okay, but damn, 3 hours. No thanks. Jared the Damger 420. Get out of here. You and your friend. Are you kidding me, bro? Listen. First of all, the extended editions, I think the first one's 3 hours and like 48 minutes. The second one's 3 hours and 55 minutes. And then the third one's 4 hours and 23 minutes. Don't ask me why I got those run times stuck in the old noggin. I'm all for it. Bro, give me the Shire. Give me Helm's Deep. Give me Minas Tirith, Rohan, Edoras, all of it. The mines of Moria and the breach of Khazad-dûm. They are and honestly, if I'm being honest with you, obviously we are way off topic, but let me just say, they held up so well. When you look at when they were shot and how they were shot, practically with just the right amount of CGI and visual effects, it's unlike anything I've ever seen. And it is unlike anything that we will ever see. It was created at a perfect time. They are perfect films done with just the right amount of CGI, but mostly practical effects with the way people are standing close to the camera to make them look bigger and then Frodo far away to make them look smaller. It's brilliant. It's a level of brilliance that we do not have in movies. We lack all sorts of creativity because everybody today in all of these movies just goes, throw it on green screen. And it drives me insane. Can you tell it drives me insane? But it's because I do this for a living. I make videos for a living. Not like this, but I mean, I do, but I'm a video producer otherwise. So it drives me insane. So that's it. That's it. Colton, what do I need to roll on a D20 for the Lions to make a playoffs? Wow, bro. Oh, my God. I would probably give that DC an 18, if I'm being honest. That's a DC 18. So basically at that point, take that D20, roll it, and I don't know, chat, what do you think? Add what? Add what, dude? Man. Wheezy. My fault, big bro. Most Lions content is based off Mike Valenti takes, and I wasn't familiar with your game. Bro, you're all good. Hey, man, that's why we're here. That's why we're here. We're having fun. There's no harm, no foul. You're allowed to hit the rewind button and check it out. Mike Valenti, I don't listen to. I haven't listened to Mike Valenti since 2019, probably, back when I started this channel. Because all he did... no, it's no offense. It's just all he did was gripe about the team and have angry rants. And I said, I'm sick and tired of this. I'm sick and tired of just listening to some other guy sit here and rip this thing that I love that I think could be great just to rip it. And don't get me wrong, we were terrible, but it pissed me off. And I just said, F that, man. I'm doing my own thing. So I respect it, but I don't listen to the guy. I don't listen to him. He's funny. Like some people like send me bits and takes, and I'm like, it's funny, but I don't care. I don't care. That's just me. That's just me, man. Average Jack saying that the DC's got to be a 17 or higher. I'm with you. Colt need to be a 9 or better. Man, dude, I think it's woo, it's got to be higher than that. 9 feels too easy. DC 18. DC 18. The question is, are we adding any modifiers? Strength, wisdom, intelligence, constitution. Give me a constitution check. Roll that D20, add your constitution to it. For the Lions, I give them +1. It just feels like a +1 constitution. Roll that D20, add +1 to it. If it's not an 18, we're not getting into the playoffs. Damn, I don't have my dice. I hate that I'm touching my jacket like I would have my dice in my jacket. I don't carry D20s around with me. But I probably should. Vegas has the Lions at 55%, which is a solid 9. Interesting. Michael Zubas, good to see you, my man. D&D character's name, Chad Doomguy Scarponesius. Sorry, the text is so small. I got to kind of make it bigger over there. Valenti hits the negative to get the callers. Commercially, it works, but not my style either. Yeah, and that's the problem. Like, I'm not going to sit in the negative. I'm going to tell you exactly what I think, and sometimes that is negative. But for the most part, like, I'm just not going to live in that. I I can see the positive. I can see the light. And with the light, man, that's just kind of where I want to go with it. So that's kind of where I've always had the channel and have always pushed, Let's Talk Lions, push this channel. It was always to the positive side. Even in the negative things, saying, okay, how do we fix it? How do you fix it? Like some people, man, they're just there for clicks. Going to mute so I can drink and cough. We need more Poland offensive linemen. Yeah, I'll give you that. I'll tell you what, VDET 38, we just need O-linemen that friggin' play the game and play it well, because right now it's so hit and miss. It's so hit and miss, dude, that I just can't. Every game, I don't know what to expect. Because you look at what we do against Dallas, and it's exciting, it's great, and then you look at us against the Giants, and you're like, what? Or the Packers, for God's sake. And I just sit there, and you're like, I can't do this, man. Like, obviously, the loss of Ragnow hurt, but the loss of Zeitler was bad in a whole other way. And then you've got injuries, and Penei Sewell's been playing through a lot. Decker has been injured since before the season began. Obviously Tate Ratledge now with the neck injury situation. Dude, there's just so many aspects to this that are the O-line needs a refresher. And I think it absolutely 100% has to be addressed this draft period. I just want to hit the trenches. We don't need skill position. Hit the trenches. Just my personal opinion. Let's see here. By the way, running 2 as a DM as well. Oh, got a Christmas present. A pint mug. Wood with metal insert. Logo was created because I'm the DM. That's why. It made my weekend. Bro, that's awesome. Dude, running 2 campaigns. I'm running 2 right now. And it's insane with being, married and having a baby and trying to take care of the home and running a YouTube channel followed by running 2 campaigns is insane. It's insane. But with that being said, hey, man, I've had a blast. This has been so great. This has been so great just hanging out with you all, sitting down. Thank you for being a part of the channel. For some of you, finding the channel for the first time and enjoying. And I'm going to do more live streams. We're going to aim to do this much more, whether that is previews or just the post-game shows. But in order to get you guys interacting, and again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start throwing up the call number so that you can call right now during the next time I do it. Not right now, but when I'm live streaming with the boys for a post-game show. You guys can call in. We'll listen to your question. We'll hash it out with you a little bit and just be able to take this further, right? Like, that's my goal is I look at this and, man, this is the most fun I have. Just sitting here, hanging out with you, talking about a team that we all love, and I want to make it fun for you. I want to make it fun and enjoyable for you guys as the viewer because, man, that's what this is all about. Like, the Lions give us something that, though we might disagree on anything else and everything else in life, we can all come together, be Lions fans, love this team, and hope for that Super Bowl. So, anyways, that is it. I appreciate Snoil, Average, Jack, Simple Photo, Michael Zubas, great to see you, VDET, Colton, everybody who's been in here, Abby, Wheezy, everybody hanging out for this live stream. This has been awesome. And I'm going to, I think, probably go watch some Downton Abbey right now. Listen, before you judge me, Downton Abbey, I know it's soapy. I know it's a little soapy, but it's great. It's beautiful. The way it's shot, the house itself, the storyline, yes, a little bit soapy, but fascinating. Takes place from, 1911 to 1925? What a span of English history. What do I care? I think that is it. And that is it for today. I appreciate you all. Downton Abbey is so sick, man. That's what I'm saying. It's just beautiful. The lighting. Mr. Carson, what an actor. All the actors. Mrs. Hughes, it's phenomenal. I love Downton Abbey. Second time I'm ever watching through it. The first time I watched through it was probably 2016. And then now I'm rewatching it with my wife. And, man, it's fun. It's just a fun show. It's a great show. If you haven't seen it and you don't like or you like period pieces, check it out. Check it out. Also, All Creatures Great and Small. That's another great period piece. Stranger Things season 5, that is out. Snoil, before I end this, my question for you is, have you seen any of it? And does it lean horror? Right? Because season 4 to me was brutal. I did not enjoy the fact that they went straight horror. I felt like it went from like fun D&D, couple kids, Goonies style to season 4 was straight up horror genre, and I hated it. I hated it. So let me know, is it kind of like that or not? And I'm trying to think the other aspect of Stranger Things that I've hated so far. You know what? I'm not going to ruin it. I'm not going to spoil. I don't want to spoil it for anybody. I don't want to spoil it. But is it horror? Yes or no? Maggie is the best actress ever? Huh. Well, I don't know who that is. But that is it. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. I've had a blast.